Hello, I am definitely not good with intros, but I am Killing Softly, and today I'm going to be ranking horror movies. I kinda got this idea from one of my friends who is also starting his own YouTube, channel and stuff. And yeah, sorry if I pause a lot or if I sound very awkward. I've never really done this, not anything, professionally at least. I've uploaded some weird stuff occasionally, but, like, not weird as in, you know what I mean, goofy stuff. But, yeah, so let's get on to it. First up, we have Annabelle. It's been a while since I've seen the original Annabelle movie, so I think I'm gonna put it in C, just to be safe. I remember the Annabelles being alright. I'm pretty sure that's the first Annabelle movie. It is a little bit wonky to be seen on, with the small screen and all that, but I am comfortable sitting it at a C. Since I've last seen the original Pet Sematary, but I can vaguely remember the idea of it, and honestly, it wasn't really scary, but it's a classic. But I think I'm gonna set it at D, since, again, it's been like forever since I've last seen Pet Sematary. I saw the remake more recently, so I have the remake stuck in my head, not the original. So yeah, I'm going to set that at a C for now. Not C, D. I'm gonna set that at a D tier for now. Right, next up we have a Halloween movie. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember which Halloween movie this is, so I'm gonna just leave that at E for now, because I really don't remember which one it is. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that at E. Alright, Friday the 13th Part 2. I'll be honest, I also don't really remember this one very well. I remember hating the first one a lot, but I don't think the first one is on this tier list, but I don't really remember the second one, so again, that's staying at E, because I don't remember it. So, yeah. Alright, so now we have Seed of Chucky. I like the Chucky movies besides the last two, and I'm not even counting that one Chucky movie being an actual Child's Play movie. So, Seed of Chucky, I enjoyed Seed of Chucky. Seed of Chucky was funny, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily scary, but I will give it a B tier since it was amusing, and it was pretty funny. Alright, next up we have Mama. And I'll be honest, it's been a while since I last watched this movie, but I do remember the plot pretty decently in my head. And I think I'm gonna set that at also a C tier, because I enjoyed the movie when I watched it. It's just I don't really remember it all that much. Again, it's been like a couple of years since Alright, next up we have The Grudge. Yes, I said it right, The Grudge. So, this movie scared me a lot as a child, so I'm gonna set that comfortably at a D. The movie was great, don't get me wrong. The movie terrified me as a child, though, and I still have that noise. I have that noise that The Grudge makes in my ears, and I sometimes hear that randomly, and it scares the shit out of me, so yeah. I'm gonna just leave that at D, because it scares the shit out of me. Alright, so next up we have The Strangers, and I'm pretty sure I have watched this, but I don't really remember it all that well. I think my friend turned it on when I was trying to go to sleep, so I kind of barely remember it, but from what I do remember, it was a pretty decent movie, so I'm gonna just comfortably set that at a C tier. Alright, next up we have Don't Breathe, and I will be completely honest, I fucking hated that movie. That movie sucked so bad to me. I just I couldn't bear to watch it anymore, so that is going immediately at an F tier. Alright, next up we have Happy Death Day, and I'll be honest, I didn't really hate Happy Death Day all that much. I mean, it was kinda boring, and the plot was a tad bit predictable, but, I mean, it was alright. I'm gonna set that at a D tier. Alright, on the opposite end of Happy Death Day 2 You, I hated. I'll be honest, I really hated that movie because it seemed like it put more of, like, what's the word for it? It put more of, like, a supernatural thing, and it just seemed really corny. I mean, it just wasn't for me, so that's going at an F tier. Alright, next up we have Scream, and Scream is one of my all-time favorite horror movies. I love Scream, mainly because of, Billy Loomis. Christ, his name blanked on me for a second. Mainly because Billy Loomis and Stu. Because, well, they're hot. Who doesn't think they're hot? Anyways, Scream. One of my go-to, but it's a classic. So this is going to be my first S-tier horror movie. Next up we have Paranormal Activity. And I'll be completely honest, I don't remember any of the Paranormal Activity movies. I only really remember the first one because I've recently watched the first one, but the rest of them kind of just seems cookie cutter off the, first one. It seems a lot cookie cutter. It seemed just like a copy and paste, but, I mean, it was, I don't really remember it, so I'm gonna just leave that at 8. Alright, so next up we have Bride of Chucky, and Bride of Chucky was a good movie. I really like Tiffany, because who doesn't like Tiffany? And, it was just, again, same as Seed of Chucky, it was amusing. It was more just amusing than scary or anything like that. So, I'm gonna probably set this at the same level as Seed of Chucky, because, yeah. Next up, we have The Blair Witch Project, and I personally really like this movie. Me and my friend watched it one night, and it kind of inspired me to do YouTube in general. So, yeah, I personally really like this movie. I know a lot of people kind of have mixed feelings about this movie because of the whole motion sickness and how it ends and all that. But me personally, I really like this movie. I like the whole found footage aspect of it. And yeah, so I'm going to set this at a comfortable A because it was an enjoyable movie and it's made memories with me and my friend. So yeah. Alright, next up we have The Human Centipede. Of course. So, I remember watching this a while back ago with my friend on call with me. I was doing this weird thing where I would call my friend and then watch some obscure movies that was on this iceberg tier list thing, and The Human Centipede was one of them because, I was really curious about watching the movie. And honestly, it was a whole lot less gory than I expected it to be. You don't see a lot of gore in the movie in general, and honestly, it was pretty tame than what I thought it would be. So, honestly, I'm gonna sit that at C, because it was genuinely kind of enjoyable. I mean, yeah, it was absolutely messed up, and theoretically, that could happen in real life. The Human Centipede, I mean. But, I mean, it was kind of a pretty enjoyable movie. I mean, sure, it was gross, but it wasn't, it wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. So next up, we have Poltergeist. And I'll be honest, again, also, it has been a minute since I have seen that movie. But from what I remember, again, it was pretty enjoyable, but I'm going to stick that at an E because these are kind of the movies that I've seen, but I don't really remember them all that much. So yeah, I'm gonna just set that at an E tier. Next up we have, I assume that this is the first Orphan and not the prequel, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, prequel, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. But anyways, I'm pretty sure that this is the first Orphan movie, and I enjoyed it. My friend, on the other hand, is absolutely obsessed with the movie, but me personally, it was alright. I'm going to stick that on the same tier as the Chucky movies, because it was pretty damn enjoyable, but again, not my absolute favorite like these two. Alright, next up we have The Shining, and again, it's been a while since I've watched that, but I remember that one a whole lot more than these four. The Shining, honestly, it was alright. It's really not one of my favorite Stephen King movies, and even Stephen King himself hates the movie, but, I mean, it was alright, but I'm gonna sit that at a D tier. Alright, next up we have Sweeney Todd. I really enjoyed this movie. It's a pretty damn good movie. I like the songs in it, but I'll be honest, I would not say that this is a horror movie. But, I mean, it's not really a horror movie. I mean, it's not scary to me at the very least, but it's entertaining, so that's going at an A tier, because, again, I really like the songs, and I like the people, the actors in it. It was really nice. So, yeah. Next up, we have Child's Play 2, and yeah, I really like Child's Play 2. I always get Child's Play 2 and 3 mixed up, but I'm pretty sure Child's Play 2 is the one where I think the kid's name is Andy. Andy is in, like, a mental institution or a hospital, and then Chucky is trying to, get him so that he can use his body, whatever, the plot. Pretty sure that's Child's Play 2 instead of Child's Play 3. So, yeah, I'm gonna sit that at a C tier. It's not my absolute, favorite one out of the Child's Play series, but yeah. Next up we have Escape Room, and me personally, I really like this movie. It was a really good movie. I remember freaking out about the one guy that survives in the Escape Room movie. I remember freaking out about realizing that guy was also in Love, Simon. So, when I first watched the movie, so yeah. And I apologize, I think I've already said this, but I apologize that my reactions aren't very grand, or if I sound like a broken record or anything. Again, I don't really know what I'm doing, and I haven't really talked to a camera before, so I'm a bit awkward. But anyways, Escape Room, I'm going to sit that at a C. It was enjoyable. Oh, I just realized I've made a small tower here. Next up we have The Nun, and oh my god, I absolutely hated this damn movie. I went into the theaters to see this movie when it first came out, and I remember originally me and my family were supposed to see Venom, but no, we ended up seeing the damn fucking Nun, and I hated that goddamn movie. It wasn't even scary to me. I just freaking hated it because of all the loud noises and the jump scares. And everyone says, oh, you're just scared of the movie. No, I'm not. The plot was shit, and I hated it because it was just relying on fucking jump scares to scare you. So, that is comfortably sitting at a goddamn F. Child's Play, the original one, or the first one. Honestly, it is a classic, but honestly, it was kind of boring to me. I mean, it's a classic, sure, but honestly, it was kind of boring to me, so I'm gonna just sit that one at a D tier, because, yeah, again, a bit boring. Alright, the next one is Halloween. So, again, it's been a while since I've seen that movie. I honestly don't really remember it all that much, but it was entertaining from when I remember it, so I'm just gonna leave that at E. Alright, next up we have Lights Out, and I really liked that movie when I first saw it. It's not my absolute favorite by any means, but it was pretty entertaining. It's a good watch. I recommend watching it if you're just getting into horror and all of that, because it's not really all that scary, but it is like a bit unnerving a little bit. I think that's the right word, but yeah, I'm going to sit that at a B tier. Next up we have The Bye Bye Man, and honestly that movie was so shit. Don't buy it. Me and my friend have the same damn opinion about this movie. He has it, and he said don't buy it. Yeah, don't buy it. It's a really shit movie. If you're really all that interested, I watched it on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on there anymore. Hopefully that godforsaken movie isn't on there anymore, but it was honestly really shit. It was stupid, wasn't all that entertaining, and it was just, I nearly fell asleep halfway through the damn movie, so yeah, F tier. Alright, next is Unfriended, and I'll be honest, I saw this movie as a child, and it gave me trauma, because I was watching this with my cousins. I was at my cousin's house at the time, and me and my oldest cousin, we were watching the movie while my younger cousins or his siblings went and played with Nerf guns or something, and me and him watched it, and a couple of the scenes absolutely traumatized me, and I was bawling my eyes out, crying. So, but I remember watching it later on down the road, because when I first watched this movie, I was about probably 9 or 10-ish. I was really young and probably shouldn't have been watching it, but I watched it again later on throughout my life, and honestly, it was a pretty good movie for the most part. I mean, it's terrifying, sure, if you already have that trauma with you, but it's pretty entertaining. It's honestly a good movie, so I'm gonna put that at C. Alright, next up we have, and forgive me if I say this wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced La Llorona. I'm pretty sure. Please don't come at me if I've said it wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's said like that. And I watched this with my friend again, I'm pretty sure. And honestly, I really liked it. It was an entertaining movie. I mean, I don't see how it fits in the Conjuring series. Well, I don't even know if it is a part of the Conjuring series, but I know it's made by the same people. But personally, I liked it. It was entertaining. It was pretty good, so that's actually going to go up into a B tier. Alright, next we have Zombieland Double Tap. I honestly wouldn't consider that a horror movie, nor would I consider the first Zombieland a horror movie. To preface this, I wasn't the one that made this tier list, but I enjoyed Zombieland Double Tap. I enjoyed Zombieland more, but Zombieland Double Tap was pretty amusing, so that's going also at a C tier. Next up we have Trick or Treat, and honestly I really enjoyed it. Again, I watched it with my friend. I know I say, honestly, I really enjoyed the movie. I know I'm saying that a lot, but I'm really not that much of a critic when it comes to movies. But I watched Trick or Treat with my friend made me watch it, and I honestly really enjoyed it. So again, that's going at a B tier. Alright, next up we have Us, and it was an okay movie. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I didn't really like it either. I mean, it's a good watch, I'll tell you that, but honestly, after watching it so many times, it kind of gets a tad bit boring. But I did like the plot twist at the end. The plot twist was really cool, so yeah, I'm gonna sit that at a C as well. I'm pretty generous with these rankings, but yeah. Alright, next is Carrie, the original one. And yeah, I really like this movie. It's been a while since I've watched it, but personally I do really like the movie. Carrie deserved so much better. She didn't deserve all that. But yeah, I'm gonna set this at, again, a C tier, because it's been a while since I've watched it, but it is a good movie. Alright, next we have Slender Man, and I absolutely hated this fucking movie. Anytime I try to watch it, I've tried to watch it, I've tried to give it the benefit of the doubt, but it's so fucking stupid, and it doesn't stick to the original plot of Slenderman's, thing with the 12 pages and all. I mean, I am a creepypasta fan, or I at least used to be, but I'm not hugely into the fandom, so I might be just waffling right here, but it was so fucking stupid, and I think anyone and their mother can agree that that movie was absolutely fucking retarded. But yeah. So that is sitting at an F tier. I hated that movie. Alright, we have up next another movie that I hate is the Child's Play remake. I do not even consider this movie a Child's Play movie because it is absolutely dog shit. It doesn't stick to the original story, and essentially all that it is some factory worker was like, fuck you, if I'm getting fired, I'm messing up this doll, and that's how that Child's Play movie became, instead of someone putting their soul into a fucking doll. So, yeah, that Child's Play movie gets an automatic F tier because it is so goddamn shit. I would rather gouge my eyeballs out rather than watch that movie again. Next, we have Insidious, and me personally, it was an alright movie. My friend, on the other hand, has absolute beef with the movie because it's so loud, and it hurt his eardrums. But me personally, it was an alright movie, so I'm gonna sit it at D, because, again, I don't think it really deserves to go up in the C, because I have the same issues my friend has, and it was way too loud. So, yeah, that's getting comfortably set at a D. Next up we have It, and yeah, it's a pretty good movie. I really like this better than the original. The remake was really good. It was nice to watch. And yeah, I'm gonna set that at a B tier. Next up we have Paranormal Activity, and again, like Paranormal Activity 3, it's been a while since I've watched it, so I'm gonna just set that at E. Next up, we have The Conjuring, and honestly, The Conjuring was a really good movie. Me personally, I like it, but it's not quite an S tier, but it's going to be set at A. But you want to know what is The Conjuring 2. The Conjuring 2 is an absolute S tier movie. Me and my friend both absolutely love The Conjuring 2. It's so much better than the first one. And yeah, that is comfortably sitting at an S tier. Next up we have Zombieland. And again, Zombieland is a pretty good movie. Again, wouldn't consider it really all that scary, but I do like it more than Zombieland Double Tap, so that is getting set at a B tier. Oh look, they're right on top of each other. I should probably say pause to that. Next we have The Ring, and again, much like The Grudge, The Ring gives me PTSD because the faces that the victims make when they died terrified me as a kid. But honestly, now that I've watched it, now that I'm, much more older than I was when I was a kid, it's a pretty good movie. It's getting comfortably set at B. It's a good movie. I personally like it. It just terrified the ever-loving shit out of me as a child. Next up, we have the original It movie, and yeah, personally, it's a good watch, but it's more of just comedic rather than scary. If you want to watch scary, watch the remake, but if you want just comedy, just then watch the first one. It scared me a bit as a kid, because I remember watching a scene when I was like really, really little, and it was just on the TV, and I got really scared, so then I changed to watch South Park, of all frickin' things. I was like, probably about 7. But, personally, I think I'm just gonna stick that at, I'm gonna stick that at a D tier, because again, it's funny, but it's not really scary. Alright, next up we have Terrifier, and it wasn't a bad movie. Let me start that off with, it was not a bad movie. However, my friend essentially gaslit me into believing I simped for Art the Clown. And I just, if you're watching this, you know who you are. If you're watching this, I still hate you. I still hate you for making me simp for Art the goddamn Clown. If you're watching this, which I know you will eventually, I still hate you for making me watch it and making me simp for this goddamn character. But the movie itself, it was alright, but it's staying an E, because I honestly, personally, I prefer the second one. The second one is much more interesting. Can't wait for the third one to come out, even though I think it's Christmas themed instead of Halloween. But yeah, that's staying at an E. Alright, next up we have The Boy, and honestly, it was an okay movie, but is it just me, or was everyone else confused about the goddamn plot of it? Because I've seen it, yes, I've seen it multiple times, but the plot confuses me a bit after a point. I'm just really confused by it. I don't understand it. Maybe I'm just not that smart to be able to understand it. Maybe I'm not that intellectual, but honestly, I didn't really understand it all that much, so I'm gonna just leave that in a D tier. Alright, and last is Tusk. I will be honest, I never finished this movie. I watched up to a point, and then I got busy, and I stopped watching it, but honestly, it looked like a cool movie, but I just stopped watching it at a point. Kinda seemed like they got inspiration, the person that made this, they got inspiration from the Human Centipede, because it kinda gives me Human Centipede vibes, but honestly, I never finished it, so that's staying at an E tier, because I never finished it. So, yeah. Alright, so that is the whole complete tier list. I hope I was at least somewhat engaging. So, yeah. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos horror related. I try to broaden my content and work with what I have, since I'm currently using a Chromebook to be filming this. So, yeah, like and subscribe.